Holy shit, I figured it out. All this stuff about emotionally stunted, that's important, but, when I was at the church, I had a big confusion about how when you're under hypnosis, they can't make you do things you wouldn't normally do. But what if they switched your subconscious and conscious mind? Well, yeah, I'm about to read that. What would happen if you switched somebody's conscious and unconscious mind? Now, there's a whole thing about you would lose ability to regulate your breathing. No, that's autonomic nervous system stuff. That wouldn't be related. That's idiotic. Inability to perform voluntary actions. The conscious mind needed to deliberate actions and walking, talking, and making decisions. It's suppressed. If it's suppressed, these actions would be difficult or impossible. You're almost mindless. Okay. Sensory input would be processed by unconsciousness. The unconsciousness mind would be directly processing sensory information, potentially leading to chaotic or overwhelming experiences as it's designed to conscious interpretation and filtering. That would be a thing, but if you drink tetraled, it knocks you out of your peripheral nervous system. So when you switch to conscious and subconscious minds, the tetraled enables them to act in this way. Clash of instincts or morals. Remember, amoral, they have no values. The unconscious mind is driven by primal urges and desires. Sex, sex, sex. Suppress unwanted thoughts. Without it, a person might be impulsive, experience intense anxiety, or be unable to cope with conflicting desires. Stu told me, the blue-eyed guy told me when talking to Stu to be very careful about what you say, because he will do it because he works on impulse. And all serial killers work on impulse. That makes perfect sense. Loss of perception of reality. Reality is subjective. The conscious mind interprets the understanding the world around us. Without it, reality would be perceived fragmented, illogical, or even delusional way. In a delusional way. That makes more sense. Remember the popping of the LSD? Psychological struggle with anxiety. The internal conflict between the conscious mind and unconscious mind drives could lead to significant psychological distress and anxiety. All these people have anxiety. It's not just the lead. It's literally because they're in an unnatural state. Difficulty in forming relationships and maintaining social connections. Emotionally stunted. This is the emotion. I'm not reading the damn paper again. It's emotionally stunted again. The inability to process social cues and regulate behaviors could make it challenging to interact with others and building relationships. This is why you don't switch the conscious and unconscious minds, okay? This whole thing about them not being able to regulate and interact with others and build relationships makes perfect sense, because if you know anything about psychopaths, they actually have to wait for you to laugh for them to figure out if something's funny, because they can't comprehend it because it's the subconscious mind. It's not the conscious mind. They're unconscious people. Loss of sense of self. The conscious mind plays a crucial role in forming our identity and sense of self. Losing it could lead to a fragmented or confused sense of identity. This came up when I was talking to the president, where we were talking about personal identity and who something is or not is. Blondie wanting to replace me. The original guy that started this church wanted to replace Jesus. The reason why they believe they can replace other people is they themselves do not know what they are. That is why they behave like liquids. They don't know their own values. They don't know their own identity. They probably don't even know who they are, which is even creepier. So they're a bizarre amalgamation that has learned to imitate human behavior, but they themselves are void of humanity. This fits exactly what I've been trying to comprehend about these people, and I think it actually completely proves my radical Bobby theory correct. The truth about all psychopaths, sociopaths, and murderers is their conscious and unconscious minds are swapped. Obviously through this church. They're created. Once again, if you watch any of my other videos, I talk about these. Every serial killer you know is created. They don't exist in the natural world. They're not a natural occurring thing. And remember, your unconscious mind is your God. It's not everybody's God. It's not how it works, okay? It's specifically related to you. I remember watching this TikTok video where they did a LSD trip with a dude where he met Jesus. And then when he came out, he's like, oh my God, I met Jesus. He knew everything about me. He knew all my secrets. He knew everything. Oh my God. And they're like, hey, David, remember, guy. Remember the most important truth of all. What's that? You're on a drug trip. It's only your brain. Your brain knows everything about you. That's how Jesus knew everything about you. It's not the other way around. I'm going to read this part. Switching the conscious and unconscious mind, while theoretically concept would likely lead to significant disruptions in personal abilities and functions in experiencing reality. The conscious mind, responsible for awareness, reasoning, and voluntary action, would be displaced by consciousness, which handles automatic bodily functions and ingrained behaviors. This could result in loss of control, struggle between conflicting urges, and distorted perception of reality. Yes. That is exactly what I was babbling about in my last video.